Hi lovelies and welcome to the Witch's Cookery. Are you stuck in the broom closet, feel a bit lonely as a witch, or would also like to share your knowledge of why it is great to be out and proud as a magic practitioner with the other lovely people here? Then stick around, because today we're talking just about that. I want to share a couple of reasons with you why coming out of the broom closet is one of the most freeing, healing, wonderful things that you can do for yourself to develop your authenticity, to feel grounded in your own personality, to find amazing, lasting friendships, and to actually build yourself a pretty great support network as well. And while I do so, you get to enjoy some B-roll of people who did just that last week at one of my retreats, Wicked Walpurgisnacht 3. Hop in a plane to Germany, gather there with a bunch of strangers, all like-minded witches from all over the world, to celebrate Beltane together. Some of them were not even out in front of any of their family and friends. And if you know, but you put them in videos for everyone to see. Well, not all the participants that are actually at the retreat are also in the videos. Obviously, I definitely respect everyone's wishes if they want to be seen or not.
Could be on YouTube looking at that.
And here I want to say a big thank you to the lovely Katarina, who provided a lot of the gorgeous footage in here. She's from Bulgaria, but she also has a English-speaking YouTube channel called Tales of Balkan Magic that I can absolutely recommend you check out for some new content. Very relaxing. She types out everything and just has like lovely footage with that. I don't know how she does it because it's so much work. Crazy girl, you crazy. In case you're now wondering, what? Witchcraft retreats? Well, yes, I kind of made it my mission to create more of a witchcraft community and kind of like link like-minded people and kind of like facilitate growing friendships all over the world between magic practitioners and those interested in the magical world.
An international sisterhood that lets me be the truest version of myself, even if it's only for 5 days in the Bavarian wilderness. You guys are also special and wonderful, and you have helped me to see how I'm special and wonderful.
And therefore I host a couple of retreats around the holidays of the Wheel of Year, Beltane, Samhain, and now also Midsummer. So if you're interested in joining one of those, I'll link them down below for you, together with a couple of vlogs from previous retreats, so you know what you're kind of getting yourself into.
Thank you so much for such a warm welcome throughout all the WhatsApp messages and and everything. And it just feels an incredible experience so far. We've only been here half an hour.
They're pretty cool and transformative and all around very, very awesome. Well, let's first look into why so many witches are in the broom closet. Chances are, if you're watching this, you're either based in the United States or somewhere in Europe. If you're not, you are one of the very small percentage from somewhere else in the world who is watching this, and I very much appreciate you. Hi. Now let's look into the numbers. Now in the US, around 0.3% of the population thinks of themselves as pagan. Compare this really quickly to Europe, where there are some countries, like for example Estonia, where it's more like 60% of the population considering themselves pagan. You might see that in some countries it's a bit easier to be out of the broom closet than in others. However, let's not forget though that not all pigeons are vegan. Hello. I don't know where that came from. They're very much not though, by the way. Pigeons will literally eat anything. Quick story on the side, when I was little, my brother and me would like buy a döner in the city and then just sit on park benches and feed pigeons with a goal to like make them into those meat-hungry monster birds that would take over the human race. It doesn't matter. The dreams of our childhood. As I said, let's not forget that not all witches are pagan. Just a lot of them like to float under that umbrella term. There's also practitioners that either have no religion at all, it is solely secular, and there's also witches who prescribe to one of the main religions. But it gives you a rough idea. For example, in Germany, a ton of people are into healing crystals and herbs, and Hildegard von Bingen is very much still a household name here. Pre-Christian pagan rituals and traditions are still very much part of rural village life. Smoke cleansing your house at certain times a year is not considered witchcraft, it's just what we do. However, if someone from a country that might not have still these like very ingrained old traditions might look at it, they will be like, oh yeah, that's folk witchcraft, and it is. It just doesn't necessarily carry the same name here. Then again, if you don't name something, if you cannot make that part of our identity or talk to someone in that way with those words about the description descriptors of witchcraft or being a witch, it's also harder to find your tribe of people, right? The people that are also into that see those traditions and rituals from that perspective. Now in the States we have a much smaller number. At least from what I can see online, the religious people there are much more aggressive in a way. And since witchcraft is not really considered part of folk practice or traditions that kind of like everyone is doing, it might be much more misunderstood and stigmatized. And I've actually read in Facebook groups of people being fired from jobs under different disguise, but after it came out that they were witchcraft practitioner. In different parts of the world it might even pose a real danger to your life, to your job security, to how you, your family, your friends, your kids are seen or included or excluded. That is definitely something to keep in mind. However, and this is also my reason number one why it is so important to get out of the broom closet. As long as something is hidden, is kind of practiced by a minority, while it's still misunderstood, while there is so much more media out there that paints it as something that it isn't, it is hard for people to get a real picture of it. It's hard for people to understand that it can be something very beautiful and helpful and just another spiritual path, and that it's not evil, weird, that it's like dabbling in the occult in most dangerous ways.
That's what this is about, to come into your power and to unleash and be unapologetically you, and feel the fire burning and to go out and connect with the rest of your world while you're centered in yourself.
We can only break stigma by showing people what stuff is really like, and giving ourselves as the prime example is usually a great way to go because it opens up conversation. In some ways this is now a very altruistic type of reason, because at first glance it might seem as more work and less benefits for yourself. However, that might not be true. If you show people who you really are and what you really believe, a certain type of magic happens, and that just means that people will form their opinion about you, and if they will vibe with what you are and what you have to offer, or if they won't. And if they won't, usually they just take them out of the mix, or they're being obnoxious little shits. But then, you know, if they are, you can just let them go from your life. Or they become really interested, they become really excited, and they want to know more about you. If you keep showing up as someone that you not really are, a front, a fake, like someone that you think you have to be, what you're doing is you're attracting the people that are attracted to that person, that persona that you're kind of like embodying, that you're acting as. If you show up as yourself, you naturally attract the people that are attracted to who you are in the core. What a self-confidence boost, and what a great way to build a network.
Me booking this retreat, I kind of all at once went through a few experiences where some spiritual-esque communities that I was a part of just did not turn out to be what I thought they were, and left me feeling like, oh, like people like me are not welcome here, like I'm queer. So some of the experiences were related to that, and I'm also someone who's a bit more on the reserved side. Like it takes a lot for me to open up and connect, so experiencing that really sent me into this space of like, I can't trust anyone, like I have to be on my own, like I'm always going to be on my own. But I still really felt that yearning for spiritually connecting with other people in a group, and kind of as like a last-ditch effort, I ended up Googling like witchcraft retreat.
I had to be nice, pleasing, the good kid, the silent daughter that helps everyone else and takes a step back. I came out of the broom closet to come back to myself and stand up for myself and be unapologetically me.
I think I'm done living by other people's rules, and I think I'll just make my own. I think they're better. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. And then that subtle art of not giving a fuck, right? I think that's what I need. And that summarizes my anxiety. You know, that's like the antidote to anxiety.
That said, not everyone has to like or understand or practice witchcraft, because everyone has their own spiritual beliefs or their religious or ethic beliefs or their ideas about something, and your job is not to make someone listen and understand. Your job is only to offer what you can offer, and then it's the person's responsibility to either take it or leave it, to open the heart and ears and mind and eyes if they want to, or to take themselves away from the equation and be like, no, this is not something that I want to hear about. They're lost. As of now, there are no witchy missionaries to my knowledge. I do, however, have to say, if someone would be like, "Excuse me, do you have a minute to talk about glamour magic while we eat my magically infused dandelion cupcakes?" I would most likely say yes. and let them in. And not pretend that I speak Uzbeki and nothing else, and that my parents aren't home. Never works. Step up my skincare routine. Just a mighty Lulu era. So if you continuously just show up as yourself and speak about your spirituality, not in a, like overtaking any type of conversation way, but like mentioning it here and there, or maybe having people over for like some of the celebrations, holidays, Sabbaths on the Wheel of Year, it will become normal to them. It will be more part of society and more of a, oh yeah, she's doing that, right? So I live in a tiny village. And I mean, yeah, can we just stop it? I'm recording. Speaking of the devil, people are not the most open-minded, to put it nicely, but they're awesome people. And since I've been living here, they obviously know my YouTube, some follow me on Instagram, so I've just been talking about it. I have been organizing moon circles. I will now actually open a witchy sanctuary in the middle of my town where people can come and learn more and, take part in ritual and spell work. And, it has become normal, and people actually come to me and say like, hey, this is really cool. Like, can you teach me more about that? Can we do like oracle card readings? As long as you present yourself as an open book, there are some people there that might want to read it. You will find the people that make you glow and shine and grow and be happy and feel safe around. Could even find yourself a little coven. And if you now say, no, but in my town there is no other witch, that's bull. Because a lot of people are in the broom closet and you cannot see if someone practices or not. And yes, some might have some tats or occult jewelry, but a lot of them also just look like a kindergarten mom. Jesus! If these are missionaries, I'm inviting them in to talk about Satan. It's actually just my neighbor with some freshly baked things, so thank you, Malisa. Speaking of covens, I have been a solitary practitioner for a good part of my life, for almost 20 years, until I actually started to organize these retreats, to organize online group workshops, and met other people. And I've never really missed it before, unless there were like holidays and I was like, oh, I wish I had someone to invite over, and kind of like, because I like to cook, I'm a kitchen bitch, so I wanna wine and dine people and make it super special. But like for the most part I was like, no, I'm happy with my practice, and I just do my things. But I didn't know how much I was missing out. By meeting people from different cultures, backgrounds, ages, I have learned so much, many more ways to practice witchcraft, to live your spirituality, and to make more magic in the mundane. Many more tools and wonderful people were added to my life. So at the retreat, during the workshops and between the different activities, there's a lot of like communication happening between the participants, and people will offer their own expertises and strengths. And we also have like the sharing evening where everyone can offer a little something about where they come from. Maybe they're like very versed with runes, or they give like oracle or tarot reads in depth to others, or offer to look at their natal charts, share more about the mythology and folklore of their country. Or when we are out and foraging, we have people that are very into herbalism and they know a ton of plant lore, of the medicinal use, and very often there's also a lot of creativity going on. Our art witches and writing witches who are amazing in just creating their very own medium and sharing that, and it's super, super fascinating to see that. I mean, it was Beltane, and there was also some wine head, so a couple of other skills slipped in as well, but we shall not talk about that. What happens at Wicked Walpurgisnacht stays at Wicked Walpurgisnacht. I'm a very simple girl, I like to work with things that are there, with things that are free, where I don't have to go into shops and buy a lot of trinkets and knickknacks in order to make the magic happen. I just want to use what is right in front of my face. And this is also something that I personally shared at the last retreat with the people, where we went, for example, into the forest and we learned how to work with one single item that you find, for example, on a forest floor, and then you read its energy and then think about how you can use it in ritual or spell work.
I never took such a close look at the wooden soil.
I think like a more assertive, powerful energy with boundaries with myself.
We also learn about divination methods where you don't need tarot or oracle cards, but you use, for example, a random flower you find, and you can really use everything and anything as a mirror of your inner reflections, of your inner soul, and divine into it. If you learn how to listen to yourself and to your inner voice using really whatever you find around the house.
There are two separate patterns to them. So there's an inner circle of petals and there's a few outer rows of petals, and there are hundreds of them. But you can clearly see that the external ones are facing out, they're open, they're in the giving mode, so they're giving things to the world, much like I am a giver and a doer. This flower, there was no comparison, there was no thinking about other flowers. It was just this is perfect.
And another thing that I am usually very passionate to share, especially when we celebrate together, is of course kitchen witchery. It is something that you can very well do on your own, and you can do it either for yourself or for a group of people. Cook with intention, put all your magic and good wishes in, but it makes it so much more powerful and so much more fun if you do it in a group. With our wild foraged ingredients, some ladies made a magical little lemonade, and then while preparing that, they did a little bit of dinner divination and gave us a beautiful oracle read that perfectly captured the transformative energies of the entire group.
This is meant to be a transformative experience, which I don't know if I was totally expecting, and then when Bex brought that up in one of our first sessions, I was like, oh, we're doing the work, we're not just doing it in the forest. And I think we've all already, just like 2 days, has it been 2 days? How many days? 2 days into this experience, like I've seen so much come up for every person here, and it has been just like really an honor to see that from everyone already so soon. And I'm sure like the next however many days, the concept of time is lost to me now. However many more days we get to spend together, we're just going to see even more of that.
And it says something lovely will grow from this. And we've talked about flowers and gardens, and this is so amazing. This deck is really straightforward. And the garden is basically a choice. So we can either sit in our pain and stay in it forever, or we can learn and grow something beautiful around it, around that trauma, around that healing space, and be there for each other, and then cultivate it for the future.
Where are we taking what we're learning here? How are we utilizing it in our own lives, and how are we utilizing it in the lives of the people that are around us, and in the ways that we can contribute back to the world, right? Because being a witch is not only about being someone that's doing something for themselves, right? It's about understanding and using that purpose for the collective good.
Big shout out to our bread group who first grounded everyone together in remembering everyone's strength, and then also putting in a bit of fertility magic with the symbols of Berlin. At a group of bright, shiny people.
I feel like we have a gang now. And you're in it.
Who made the most delicious dandelion cake and weaved all their good wishes for each other in, as well as the self-love for themselves, just through the different communication prompts they were given while they were making that. And you would not believe the therapeutic powers of making butter from scratch. And you over there on the other side of the screen, when you're now seeing that and you're sitting there and thinking like, oh man, I kind of wish I could have some sort of community in that way and share my passions and what really draws me to witchcraft and all the magic with other people. These type of events are just wonderful to chat, to eat, to exchange, and to also create this very safe environment. So yeah, absolutely invited if you want to join. Come to one of the retreats and eat way too much cake. And on the topic of sharing skills and tools, especially at the retreats, I love that we kind of established that tradition that people would bring all their stuff that doesn't serve them anymore, if that's now an oracle deck, or if it's a set of runes, or if it's certain oils that they made, and they're like, yeah, I used this in my practice, but for now this chapter is closed and I'm ready to leave that for someone else that can make better use of it. And I love it because people also exchange their experiences with it, and with that obviously also experience of times that they might have struggled, that they have gone through, things they had to overcome, manifestations they made real. That is on the one hand very inspiring, on the other hand very supporting for other people to hear. Advice, stories, a listening ear are so very important in a circle.
I got out of a pretty dark spot about 2 years ago, and trying to kind of crawl out of that kind of kind of space.
In 2022, I got diagnosed with breast cancer.
And ever since that, our whole life has just completely fallen apart. And we're just rebuilding it now.
Also overstepped my boundaries a bit, and I've just been feeling very numb and not in my body.
Actually, the last 6 months has been like the Tower card, where there's necessary destruction and things that are kind of going, badly at the time, but it was like necessary. It needed to happen.
I'm a Cancer. I play the nurturer. My job is always to take care of everyone, all of the time, which I love. But taking this trip is reminding me to take care of myself and to feed my flame, and that my flame is not only there to light the path for others, but also to ignite.
To you so that you can crush all that bothers you. And I crush it. So that you know what you have to do. And I give you back your future because you deserve it.
Exactly a year ago, so last Beltane retreat, I was here. I was the last to speak in this round. The reason for that was because for a decade I struggled with suicidal thoughts. And now I can say it has been exactly a year since I've had my last suicidal thought.
Of course, you can do your spells and rituals alone, but there are sometimes in life times where you can do with a little bit of support, you can do with people that have gone through similar things, and you just want some cheerleaders in your corner. And for that, being a witch out in the open and finding your witchy friends is wonderful. This is also another example that I see with my retreats. Everyone that comes there comes for a purpose, whatever their personal purpose might be. They need something to change in their lives. They want to manifest something, they want to transform something, they want to let go of something, they want a sense of belonging, they want some support, they want to call an energy in, whatever it might be. And in this very safe and open-minded and loving environment, people can open up and they can really share a lot about themselves. And it's beautiful to see how much people then support other people. They might be carrying something themselves, but they know that there's another person there for them to help them through. And this is also the exercise that we did in this retreat at the very beginning, where we just weaved a magic circle where everyone shared a thing that they were either afraid of or were struggling with, and then another person would come in telling them how they would support them in that, and then again sharing something that they are struggling with. And that really creates this wonderful bond and this wonderful nurturing energy.
Thank you. Just thank you. And then Linda, come here. Thank you for our moment alone, and thank you for being the wonderful, nitty-gritty, strong, beautiful, resilient mother and woman that you are. Please keep on being you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I think that Bex has managed to create this very safe space as I've been following your vlogs and the vlogs about the retreats, and it's the fact that you're all coming back. It's amazing. So I want to be so.
When you practice with others, you're not only practicing your own experience, but you're joining in the collection of magic, right? You're giving your power to something that's bigger than yourself. And as much as we are all individual flames and lights, like fireflies, getting together all the fireflies in a jar makes more of a bonfire.
And when you have that, people are also much more likely to ask for support and to ask for help, which in our daily lives we often don't feel like we can do. And we can be, hey, can you put a little good thought in this spell for me? One of the participants wanted to craft a happiness spell for her. Or you have people that are like, could you please write in my book of shadows to just incorporate a little bit of your vibe, your energy, your good wishes in there. And then of course there's also very powerful group rituals, just experiences that you might not necessarily do for yourself. And it's so cool to see an entire group of people like cheer and chant for someone because they feel this was a really important moment for them, or they saw a breakthrough, or they saw like that spark in that person and they're like, yes, you go girl, or mean, or non-binary magical being.
And energy and focus to get to my goals. Ah, okay.
Determination.
Let's go.
Yay!
The key to happiness.
Yay! Yay!
There you go.
That's why on my retreats I also like to incorporate something where you do a spell for someone else, because obviously as solo practitioners you usually do spell work for yourself, but it's also really nice to receive that extra little magical push from someone else if it's welcomed.
And you're also so strong, you're in the army, like a woman in the army. So I will give you something Delia, because I think you have everything in you to grow in all the ways you would like to.
I want to give you calendula and rose, and dandelion and bay leaf, so that the beauty, the sunshine, the strength against all odds always shall be with you.
And then afterwards, I always see it on the WhatsApp groups and people like visiting each other or like following each other's goals and getting super excited because someone finally transformed something or manifested something.
And I want to talk about what I manifested. The pouch I engraved last year. It was to attract love. Yeah. And this little thing is a honeycomb with honey dripping down, and that's what I envisioned. I had a deficit of that in my life, and I really wanted to open my heart. And so last year I unapologetically just manifested what I wanted, and I wanted to introduce And it's just a testament to the power of your thoughts and the power of healing energy. There's so much power that was here in this circle that changed lives. We have so much to celebrate.
I don't do any of this at all. When we first met and started talking, I was like, oh, really, that's interesting. I come from a Christian background, and, whatever. But this is something that we've talked about a lot, and we've actually done some things together. So I was like, okay. When the question came up about this year's retreat, I was like, sure, I'll go with you. So I can understand what it is you're talking about, so I can understand, things about you a lot better and deeper and all that. So, to better support you. So I figured it'd be interesting to do that. So here I am.
This is what can happen if you're being open about being a witch. You might, even as partners, have completely different religious views, spiritual views and experiences, backgrounds. But if there is room for open communication and respect and just supporting each other in an individual path, the magic can happen. And I'm so glad that some of the people that have now be already coming to multiple retreats are bringing their partners, and for the midsummer retreat I think like 3/4 of the people are repeat customers, and some of them are bringing their partners too, even though they're not witches. They're like muggles, but open-minded muggles, and they want to share that community and that lovely spirit that we can create in this sort of like atmosphere with them, because it offers so much room for growth, for transformation.
For me, it's my daughter and me. And I am here because I want to understand what has helped Winnie and be stronger through this
through my experience.
Yeah. And I am very curious what happens here.
Og er faktisk rigtig stolt af dig.
She said she was very grateful for me giving her the opportunity to come here and sharing this part of my life with me. Thank you, Kat. And she really likes me and what we all have going on here, and she's really proud of me.
Oh yeah,
People are bringing their partners, we had the mom coming, like all to foster a deeper understanding. So I saw this trend happening and I was like, well, we have to do something with that. But while couples can obviously join these retreats and like individually grow, I think it's also super cool if you could do something where we focus more on couples dynamics, you know, where you work through hardships that you've gone through together, through your communication, and foster just like a deeper understanding of each other and yourself individually. Work towards manifestation of common goals, maybe bring magically back some of that spark that was lost.
Talking about the dirty stuff.
So I thought, hey, one should act when inspiration strikes. So I reached out to a retreat location. I actually did a thing. So I booked it next Beltane, the weekend after Beltane. We're doing a couples only muggle friendly witchcraft retreat where you can come and you bring your partner, whatever gender, age 18 plus, and we gonna work magic with them. And it's gonna be great. And I'm putting the link in for you right now. Secure your spaces because I'm only taking 8 couples, no more. So it's like an intimate and nice manageable group. So excited. So excited. What am I saying with this? You should get out of the broom closet, find your witch friends, have people that go thrift shopping with you for magical finds or to the nearest metaphysical store, people that wanna read oracle with you or wake up at 4 to stare at the sunrise or, you know, eat too much cake on full moon nights. So you have to keep in mind that these are only things that can happen when you jump out of the broom closet and you're like, yes, I'm putting myself out there. Jump out, be the magic, enchant the people around you and have a fulfilled, lovely, authentic life. And if you want to join us here next time, there's still 3 spots left for the Samhain retreat and I already put next year's spots available. So be quick. Hop on your broom, come over to Germany and feel the magic yourself. Have a wonderful day and I'll see you soon. Goodbye!